I will die on that hill.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this.
Love this show.
The sickest night ever.
Is this? What are we doing?
No.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunnar, also known as Chico Noise, 3-time podcast host, owner of a blind miniature dachshund, and Colton. Colton, let me tell you something.
What's up?
I am loving this fall weather right now.
Oh man, you and me both, brother. I love this stuff.
Yeah,
Absolutely love it. It's perfect.
so nice and chilly in the mornings, and then it warms up a little bit in the afternoons, and then it's nice and chilly in the evenings. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, everybody alongside me as always, my good friend Cody, or as
Oh my
Colton,
gosh.
or as I like to call him, Juan Keel for 3, or as many people call him, Vanilla Thunder. He's got many names over these last 31 episodes of the Call Guys podcast. Colton, I have a funny story to tell that goes along with that intro.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I did say I have a blind miniature dachshund, which you laughed
know,
at.
I do know this.
So the wife and I bought a new house, and we
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. We moved in here I guess with the air date of this, it was 2 weekends ago. But we moved in, and Penny has eye problems, so when she hits her head too many times, her eye turns red and she can't see very well, so she runs into things, right?
Okay.
Well, Penny's never experienced stairs ever. I mean, maybe once or twice where she's actually been in a house that has stairs and actually used the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, she wanted to test the waters, so she decided she wanted to do the stairs by herself. And we were standing around the island talking, and we look over, and all you hear is boom, 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 boom. She went tumbling down the stairs at the new house. Luckily, they're carpeted. Luckily, she was okay. Her eye is much better now. It's been about a week and a half, and thank God it's better. Now she's actually like dodging things as she's running towards them. So, yeah.
I mean, I've seen that dog be mobile, and that dog is dangerous.
Oh
mobile.
yeah. She doesn't have brakes. She's like the kid from the Mighty Ducks that can't stop. Well, he can't skid on his skates. She's just like that. She's sliding for a mile.
Luis,
yes. Wow. Who was the cowboy? I don't remember the cowboy's name.
Dwayne from Texas.
Yes. Such a good movie. Good callback. I love it.
It is.
Colton, how's your week? How's your week?
Man, like you said, fall weather is here, so picking up at work, getting busier and busier. Outside of that, just doing the dad thing and planning my trip for Blink 182.
Oh, that was my next thing on the list. Yeah.
So yeah, super pumped about that. By the time this airs, I will hopefully be having tickets for this show. I'm kind of stuck between two places. I might go to the Chicago show I found out a bunch of my family wants to get me tickets. I'm assuming it's my family. I wasn't really told.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's them. They want to get a bunch of people together and go to the show together. Nice. And I said, as long as that involves the Goldens and a couple other folks, it could be like 12 people in this group going to the show.
That'd be fun.
It'd be a blast. I'd be super, super pumped for it.
Yeah.
Or me and my buddy, who I got hooked on Blink, we would go to San Diego with the wives and kind of make a little mini vacation, like a long weekend out of that trip, ending it with the Blink show on a Tuesday night. And so I'm stuck between
big group or a group of 4. Which one?
Well, now it's just more about where do I want to go watch it, because I'm going no matter what.
Yeah.
Do I go with a lot of family and friends, or do I just make it a close, intimate group where, Blink is from San Diego and that show is probably going to be an amazing show.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, and by the time this airs, I will have made that decision. But right now, I haven't, and it's really tough for me because I'm torn because I love doing family group things like that. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
torn between that. So
That would be
what would
fun.
you do? What would you do?
What would I do? You know, if you decide to do Chicago thing, I'm there with you. But obviously, the San Diego thing, just be you and your family. But if you do the San Diego thing, I probably won't go. So that's just a little insight. But I would love to go, and I know my brother and my dad would love to go. So if you can make the Chicago thing work, then we're in.
I know, man. Like I said, man, I'm torn because I've never been to San Diego. I want to go to the zoo at San Diego. Um, just I want to go. I would love to go see Blink in San Diego. And I
Yeah.
don't know if this will be my only opportunity to get to see that happen. Because I'm worried about the last time we were supposed to go see Blink at Hershey Park. It was the Blinken Park event, and
Yeah.
that happened.
Yep.
And I'm worried about having a Rush. I'm worried about one of them because all besides Tom, that's what's going to happen. Mark has survived. Travis has survived. It's Tom's turn now, and he might not survive. So
Mm.
now I'm worried. Now
No.
I'm worried.
They'll go 3 for 3. They'll be all right.
Well, if it would be anybody, it would be those three.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm just kind of torn. So right now I'm just trying to figure that out, and you know,
Well,
get that
I'm
figured
excited.
out.
I'm excited for you.
Oh, dude, I'm
I
really excited.
I was looking at the tour dates and everything, and man, they're playing a ton of shows.
A ton.
Yeah, you can literally get them in like if you're in northern Indiana, you got Cleveland, you got Detroit, you got Chicago, like anything within what 4 hour
A
radius.
4 hour drive. There's at least
Yeah.
3 shows.
Yeah, so if you're up here in northern Indiana with us and you love Blink 182, you'll have plenty of chances to go see them. So get your tickets. If you're at Chicago, find me in Colton. Maybe we'll wear some Call Guys shirts and you can sign our shirts, or we'll sign your shirts. However that works. We'll sign your shirts and then you can sign our shirts because we signed your shirt.
That's right. That's right. And also, I also got tickets to for me and the wife and the one of my sister-in-laws to go see Ed Sheeran in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna go do that.
You busy guy.
Yeah, next year is gonna be the year of concerts. So
Well, we better start racking them up now.
yeah,
We go up to Gary to the casino and go see a band. We can go to Fort Wayne, go to Pierre's and
yeah.
see a band. We can go wherever. Let's just go see bands. We can go to Rudy's and see Randera play.
We could.
Why not?
Oh
Why
yeah.
not?
What about you, brother? How's your week been?
Oh man, it's been kind of slow. I had last Friday off. So I got a nice 3-day weekend and then came back into work, and it's been a slow week, but it's been productive, which is nice.
Okay.
Just doing stuff around the house. Like I said, we moved. If you're watching and you see the new background here, it's gonna change. Obviously, it's not fully set up yet. My movie posters aren't here. First thing Colton asked me, where are the movie posters going? I got a new desk coming. I got my mic arm here. It's gonna change quite a bit, and it's gonna look nice. I hope once it's fully done and finished and painted, and I don't know. Other than that, yeah, just cleaning up, unpacking. It's a lot of work, and we're getting there. We're getting there.
Right on.
Yeah. There is one thing I do want to talk about before we get into today's topic.
What's that?
That is episode 30.
Did we was that a special episode?
I think it was. And you know
okay.
what? It was a super fun episode. We got a ton of good feedback, a lot of people talking about it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed recording it. We recorded that almost 2 months ago at this point.
Gosh, 2 months.
Yeah, and releasing it and re-listening to it after all the edits that went into that. And sorry to anybody out there listening, and you get to the part where we're tapping our mics because I'm like, Colton, you gotta like it's not in this ear. It's not in this ear. And just tap. Yeah. We might have been a little intoxicated by that point, so it's probably just funny to leave in there.
I've explained it to a couple people, and I said because I explained, oh, we did our 30th episode, we called it Beer 30, and they're like, oh, that's cool, that's neat. And I said, yeah, you could tell the difference when it's 15 minutes into the show compared to the last 15 minutes of the show.
See, my dad told me today that he didn't think that we sounded like we were slurring our words, but if you go to 15 minutes and you go to 2 hours and 45 minutes, you can tell a difference in like the way everybody's talking.
It's the
at
tones.
least me and you.
The tones are completely different. You're right.
Yeah. So if you have not listened to Beer 30 yet, please go check it out. Let us know what you think. Send us an email to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. It's a long episode. It's 3 hours and 3 minutes. And to be honest with you, I think it's worth every minute. I think it goes by quick. You won't even know you're listening to it for 3 hours. And enjoyed every minute of recording it, every minute of listening back, and every minute of editing it. And I just learned before we started airing tonight that people want an uncut version, so maybe I'll make that work out and post it for like a limited time on Spotify or something. Limited release on Spotify. Maybe we can make that happen.
Oh my gosh. How long is that? How long is that cut?
Oh,
Do you know
gosh.
off the top of your head?
Oh gosh, no, it's probably
It's got to be close to like 5 hours, isn't it?
4 hours and 4 hours and 40 minutes. I cut a lot. I had to cut a lot. There was.
Oh, I know you did. I know you did. I mean, I was there. I remember the evening.
Yeah.
So,
when you start recording at 7 and people don't leave until almost midnight, you know you've been busy.
Yes.
So speaking of Beer 30, we did receive quite a few emails about the episode, and we got 3. So Colton's going to read off 2 of these, and I'm going to read off 1 of them.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start with I'll start with the first one here. It is from actually a participant of Beer 30.
It is.
Which is from our boy Petard.
Mhm.
It is just titled "Sexy."
Yeah.
Hi. How are you? He said Beer 30 is undefeated as the best episode ever. Definitely top 5, I would agree.
Oh yeah.
He says, I can't wait to run it back. What we think about Beer 60 coming soon. I mean, we might have to come up with a bit of a sexier name than Beer 60, but
yeah, there's got to be something out there.
We'll figure that out when the time gets there. But he does say, side note, he says, Die Hard, still a Christmas movie. Get off the horse is dead, Jared. It is not.
Yeah, horse died a long time ago.
And then he follows it up with and go to Penguin Point and use code CALLGUYS for your free box of fries. Not an ad. And then he does a little bit of our job for us. He says, don't forget to like and click that bell for all the Call Guys content. Peace, love, and happiness to all the viewers. Jared, we love you, man. You know this. So thank you for the email, and can't wait to talk to you soon.
So last night I'm sitting here, I'm editing Indiana Chiefs fans plug on the wall there. And I get a notification on my phone. I look down, I got an email, and I'm like, what? So I open it, and I was like, Jared. So I started reading it, and I'm like, I call him. I'm like, why did you just send an email to the Call Guys? He's like, are you gonna read it? I'm like, well, yeah, we're gonna read it. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So we also got another email from somebody who's emailed us before for many episodes, a very, very consistent listener. It's Arian Schneider. And Arian, I want to thank you for sending us another email. And this email just made me smile when I read it the first time. She said, I can honestly say I listened to the whole episode while I worked this morning, and wow, it was like I was hanging out with my buddies. I'm sorry to say it took far too long to realize that it was Jake Everett. I don't know him personally. I was appalled when Colton said he didn't like How I Met Your Mother. That show is legend. Wait for it.
No.
Dairy. And she is right there. I love How I Met Your Mother. She said, great topics, love the sentimental moments, and you are very lucky to have great friends in your corner. Arian, I am very lucky to have great friends in my corner. And I'm assuming that's also to Colton, also, who I would think would say the same thing. So,
Oh yeah, no. As much as as much as I rag on a lot of things, Gunner is my boy, and everybody that was at Beer 30, I would treat like a brother. So, um, I think that's kind of the nice thing about that group is that we are kind of tight in that area in that aspect where we can kind of open up to each other.
I'm
Um,
I am just super enthusiastic and insanely happy to have Jake come back on anytime. Like he made that episode feel like it flowed. He had long explanations for a lot of things, but
oh,
I feel like
everything. He's a talker.
it was
He's a
just good.
talker.
It was good content
Yeah.
overall. So yeah.
No, but thank you, Arian. Thank you again for responding always. Even if
Yes.
we don't, I mean, we don't have to agree on how I Met Your Mother is. I
Mm.
mean, we can just agree to disagree. Okay, you can be wrong. It's okay. I still like you. It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
Colin, I think you're the wrong one in this instance.
Oh, I'm just joking. No, that's great. I just love the conversation. So,
Oh yeah.
um,
Oh yeah.
it's just a show I never got into. So
Mhm.
I don't
It's
get
okay.
it. And our last email, not forgotten, is from CT1209, probably
Yes.
09, which is Chris.
Yeah.
Um,
What was the subject of this email titled?
Okay, so
No, you'll never hear this on the call, guys, ever again. Till just this one moment.
I open up the emails and I look at the first email, the last email that's in the mailbox, and it says, Colton is right. I was like, I don't know who wrote that, but you're dang right I'm reading that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Chris, this is great. Chris says Colton is spot on about Friends. That's right. I've got books from my sister about
Oh yeah.
Friends and how much she despises it as well.
Oh really?
Yeah. And I was I was like, I was a little taken back from it because I was expecting a nice little, hey idiot,
Yeah.
type of conversation. But
Not
no.
the opposite.
Yep. And she said, also, I would like to say, also, I would say it was actually a spinoff on Seinfeld. I do not believe Friends would have existed if the prior had not been as wildly successful. That's a good conversation to have. We don't know. I mean, I know when that was going on, I was a little kid, so I mean, I wasn't too up into that, but I mean,
Man,
I could see them trying to recapture that magic with more cast members and more people other than just, the four in Seinfeld.
yeah.
Whereas in Friends, there's what, 8, 7?
I don't even know, man. I would like to see the release dates on those to see like when Seinfeld started and ended, and then when Friends started and ended.
Well, I think Seinfeld started in 90 or 89 in the 80s. I mean, it only lasted. I mean, he's got a superstitions about 7 or 9. So that's
Yeah, I
how
remember
long.
you
That's
talking
how.
about that.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. I can't remember how long that was. So, anywho, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a fun little rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
Because
Not
I would
tonight.
definitely.
Not tonight. We got a different rabbit hole to hit on
Oh
tonight.
God, do we have a rabbit hole to go down? Okay, the next part of this email is unpopular opinion of mine. How I Met Your Mother is not enjoyable either. That's right, Chris. That's right. That's right.
Unpopular opinion. I mean, that's
It's a very-
spot on.
It is a very unpopular
Yeah.
opinion. And then he follows up with, I loved your Fry discussion in the time travel idea, the back in time for me. Forward in time is the only thing theoretically possible, by the way. Chris, I know you will be on this podcast again eventually.
Oh yeah.
Probably for Andor. So keep that little nugget in the back of your mind, because I'm sure Gunner is already thinking about that right now.
Somewhere on my mind at one time or multiple times during the day, time travel comes up somehow. just pops in my head. Be like, if I could have time traveled back, I could have done this for myself. That way my future, my past self doesn't have to do it. So like somebody says, Gunner, did you do the dishes? No. And then I go and the dishes are done. Well, maybe I did. Maybe I just forgot.
Yeah, we digress here. He follows that. He follows it up with. He follows it up with Beer 30 was so fun and enjoyable to listen to. I am going to be super forward now. I know that I am the OG Star Wars guy on the podcast, but I would absolutely love to be on the top 5 or the top 5 books to movies episode with Jake. That could really be fun. And I agree with him.
Yeah.
I think that those two, if they got together and got going a little bit, and I'm sure Chris is knowledgeable in just about anything he says he's knowledgeable in.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the way Jake is too. And I think that would be another really good conversational episode.
Oh yeah,
with
for sure.
us not doing much.
Well, if we did top 3 books to movies, I have 3.
I think I could do 3. I would have to think about 5. But
yeah. Oh, I couldn't do 5. I don't think I've ever read 5 books.
I believe that.
I mean, I have read 5 books, but not 5 books that have been turned into movies.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then he finishes up with, anyway, thank you for the entertainment. CT1209. Chris, as always, thank you for the email. Thank you for the conversation. I can't wait till you're back on. So I'm excited. Gunner's excited. We're all excited. Thank you, everyone, for the emails. And please, please, please feel free to always say something in our email at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, and we'll read them off. And and I'm telling you, I would love to get everybody who's emailed in on the podcast at some point in time. Like, even if it's just like a rotary style type of system where we send the Zoom link out, join for 10-15 minutes, talk about a topic, go to the next one. Like, I think that would just be really, really fun. We just have to figure out the logistics and all that stuff. But yeah, no, everybody, thank you for hitting us up. Keep hitting us up, and we'll keep shouting you out. So
for sure.
yeah, those are the emails. That was great. Colton is right. I might keep that one and frame it so I can put it on the fridge. So
just like the cutout of the actual like email thread on the.
Hey babe, I got an email. This is what it says.
And guess what? It's gonna look like a fortune cookie. You should do that. You should put it in a fortune cookie. You get Chinese, have her open it. It just says Colton is right. And then the lucky numbers CT1209.
1209. Oh my gosh, how funny would that be?
Yeah, it would. Colton, do you have anything else you want to say about Beer 30 before we move on to tonight's topic?
Man. I mean, I can't. I just want to thank the guys who came on. Snake, Jake, Lucas, Jared, you, of course, brother. I mean, just everybody getting together. That was just a lot of fun. I know that's hard to do, especially with now that everybody's married and 2 of the 5 of us have kids, and it's just to be able to pull something like that off was a lot of fun to do. And obviously I'd love to do that like every 5th or 10th episode, but
I know, yeah. That would just
be fun. But
let's just plan. Let's plan for every 30th episode. That
every
just
30th
makes it a little bit easier. I do.
So that's fair.
Yeah, I do want to thank everybody that listened to it and sent the feedback and let me know what they thought of it. I also want to thank Jared, obviously, for letting us use his basement. I want to thank Lucas for coming back on and hanging out and having some good conversation. Snake Plissken, Jake, thank you for coming and sitting down with us, and especially for that long of a period of time. Your first episode on, you did a great job. I loved every moment of that. And I want to thank Courtney for being our Google person.
Our girl in the chair.
Yeah, she did a great job. She was like listening. She was listening to pretty much everything we said. She was like Googling it as we were talking about it. which was super fun. And then obviously thank them for making a awesome dinner while we were there too. So
Oh yeah, killed it. Absolutely.
it's crazy to thank people for something that happened 2 months ago, but yeah, thank you guys. Seriously.
Yes, yes. I mean, I'll always continue to thank you.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
that. So
And then you know what? We'll just do whatever we call episode 60 at Jared's house.
yeah.
I mean, it worked out pretty well. So, all right, Colton,
Are we gonna get to today's topic?
we are.
Oh my gosh.
So, as of the recording of episode 31, this is Thursday night. We always record on a Thursday night. And what all you Marvel fans out there know that She-Hulk came out on Thursday night. So, as we are recording this, was the night that She-Hulk's last episode came out.
It ended.
Colton is watching the Bears game behind him right now. I'm sure of that.
I am neither confirm nor deny that there is at least a touchdown in a Thursday night game in 2 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
Colts fans, Broncos fans, don't want to hear your BS, okay? Just get on down the road.
Yeah. So She-Hulk's final episode 9, did come out this morning while we are now recording this. Colton just finished it. I watched it when I got home from work. I took some notes and I was like, I'm ready to talk about this show because there are multiple reasons we'll get into, but this show definitely had its ups, definitely had its downs, definitely had its good episodes, definitely had its not great episodes. Had some awesome moments and some WTF moments. I mean, I don't know how else to say that because that is pretty like what? Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how you want to structure this, Colton, because I feel like you're about ready to turn into the Hulk and start smashing everything around you. So I'm gonna start with this as what I liked about the show. What I liked. I think that would be a good way to start. And then we can get off the what we liked and we can just tear into some of the things we didn't like. So I do have a list, actually. I have a decent sized list of the things I liked about the show. And the first one is the big one. And that's the breaking of the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And I think I like that because the actress that played She-Hulk, and I have her name on here. Oh,
like Tatiana
Maslany. I think she did a great job as the actress who played She-Hulk. To be honest, I think she really did a good job. And I mean, overall, I thought she was just fun to watch. And I like that it really, to start off the show, it doesn't hit you right away. It kind of slowly engages. And then towards like each episode, it becomes more and more and more. And then that last episode was just, it was a mess. And we'll get back to that here soon. So, what was something you really liked about the show? Something that really stuck out to you?
Okay, so obviously, I think Gunnar has talked about it that I did not watch this show weekly.
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid to watch it weekly because I think I would just nitpick every little thing that I didn't like per episode, fester on it, and then that hatred would grow and grow and grow, and I wouldn't give this show a shot.
Yeah.
So what I did is that I waited last week. I binged them all. Me and my wife did. We got through them, and we got through them, and she wasn't super thrilled about wanting to watch this series as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, we'll get through them all at once, and we'll see where we like. And we liked it. I'm not gonna say we loved it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna bash on it the entire time, but
Yeah.
there were. I felt like in this series especially is that there were more things I liked per episode than things that I didn't like per episode. And it's not like it was like a 50-50 the whole time or a 60-40. I mean, some episodes I liked, 80-20, and then some episodes I didn't like 80-20. Like, so it was one of those that I'm glad that I watched it how I watched it because I think I gave the show a fairer chance. I did, like the fourth wall breaks. because that stayed true to the comics, I believe.
It did. Yeah.
So that was kind of neat. I love that little nod whenever they do something that way, shape or form.
I love it when they do it well.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
Deadpool, like She-Hulk has been.
I would not. I mean, there's no. I don't think there's anybody in the MCU, let alone Bueller.
No, I was literally just
Bueller.
thinking like Ferris
Like,
Bueller. Like you
I
have
mean-
that moment.
I mean, those to me is Deadpool and Bueller. Like those two are like, to me are the like if you can get like a director comes up to you say, hey, I want you to do fourth wall breaks like Bueller and Deadpool. Like if you could compete with those two, I say you're doing a really, really good job.
Yeah.
With that.
And I think she did.
I mean, I'll give you 30-40. I'll give you 3 out of 4.
Okay.
Because and honestly, it's just because of the last episode.
Oh yeah, no, that is one of the last things.
I'm trying to erase that from my mind as we speak. But I think my favorite thing about this series was the supporting characters. I thought they were
100%.
hysterical. I think they were the funniest ones out of all the series. And I don't know, that's just because they had so many, but I thought this show was funny.
Yeah.
Like it had a lot of funny moments in it where I didn't think that they were trying to be funny. They just came off as funny. And that to me is the best kind of funny, is when you're not trying to be funny and it's just kind of like who you are and it's just how it comes off.
Yeah.
So to me, that was one of my favorite things about this series was I thought they did a really good job with the writing of the characters and the actors and actresses, and the way that they were able to pull them off seamlessly was huge.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite thing about the series was that.
I 100% agree. I think everybody from, well, okay, so there are a couple supporting characters I didn't like. The male lawyer that was at the first agency she was at, I hated his character.
Yeah,
just hated that character.
I felt like that was done on purpose.
I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I absolutely hated Titania. That character, so bad.
What's her storyline?
What's
her fucking story?
She just doesn't.
First
influencer.
First episode, she busts through the wall. Okay?
And then gone for an episode.
Nothing. What? Why did she do that? I don't know. What happened after that? I don't know.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden she's like, brand and
yeah, was like, well, I trademarked She-Hulk. Okay, is that what you've been doing this whole fucking time? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, where are what are we doing with this character? Other than just vomiting it up on the paper.
I hope 100% she doesn't come back ever.
I hope she never comes back ever again. I full-heartedly agree. I never want to see her face ever again. And I'm not. That's not a stab at her, the actress.
No, the actress is fine.
I
she did an okay job.
I'm trying. It's almost like we need to talk about this last episode, so then that way we can.
No, we can't. Let me get through my list, and then we'll go.
Get through your stuff, man, because I'm struggling.
You hit the nail on the head with the supporting cast. Like I said, all those characters were great. Both of her cohorts at the legal office were great. Her boss at the legal office, I really liked him, and then the girl that was one step above her, and I cannot think of what her name was.
I can see her face.
She was great too.
Her paralegal. I thought her paralegal was good for the most part.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't a super big fan of the dude who was their age, who the paralegal they team up with in the last episode.
Yeah.
I didn't really like how he was written. I don't know if that's
goofy.
And he was trying to. I don't know. He just seemed to be trying too hard for
the Avengers. The Avengers shirts.
Yeah, when he was so hyped about how he had a guy
Yeah.
Now, like, see, like, to me, that whole scene where they're in the bag and they're trying to get that murder,
Yeah.
like,
It's
that
so
was
good.
hysterical to me. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
One of the other big things I really enjoyed is, so in the comics, She-Hulk gets her powers because Bruce has to give her a blood transfusion. That's how she gets her powers. I really like the turn they did with this, with they're driving and the Scar ship flies in, causes them to get into an accident. Bruce has the inhibitor chip that he has made for himself, so he can turn himself into Hulk or keep himself from turning into Hulk, pretty much
Yeah.
is what that does. And it causes him to get injured, which you don't see him get injured really ever, right? So they get in the accident, he's bleeding, she's bleeding, his blood gets into her bloodstream, and she becomes a Hulk. I think that was a really cool twist on that. And I enjoyed that they brought the Sakaar ship back because you knew what it was right when it flew up.
yep.
And then they pay that off later on, which is also nice, which we're going to see in the next Hulk show / movie, whatever they decide to do. And I thought that was really cool. I love the cameos. I think the cameos were great. You get Wong, you get Emil Blonsky, you get Daredevil. Who am I missing? I think that's pretty much
That's
it.
it.
Yeah. But seeing Matt Murdock come back, which you know that I love Daredevil as much as I love Spider-Man. I
Yeah.
mean, he's always been one of my favorites. To be honest with you, Abomination coming back and Emil Blonsky coming back, that's just a huge payoff for a lot of people that love Marvel. And I think that he was probably the best part of the Edward Norton Hulk movie. I think he was the one character that was actually okay. And I love that they brought him back. I hated his character in this. I did not enjoy him as much. And I think we talked about this before. You actually liked his character, Greg.
I because I think the reason why I enjoyed it is because he has an arc. I mean, he
Yeah.
has a high and he's got a low. And I just love to see that from characters who have struggled with something and have
Yeah.
something to struggle with. And so I kind of enjoyed that. And you know, in the last episode,
Yes. We can move on to that. Let's move on to that.
why? Why? I watched it. I literally sat up and I looked at my wife and I said, "What did I just watch?
Yeah.
What did I just watch? I have no idea what I just watched. But what I just watched was garbage." Talk about I know, talk about it, right? Talk about it.
Dude, I don't have words.
I mean, I have anger is what I have. I have
Yeah.
anger that they screwed this series up.
I thought they were doing really well until I watched that last
Absolutely
episode.
screwed it up. I don't even care for the payoff of what Kevin was. I thought that was stupid. I thought that whole time she broke the fourth wall, this is the one time I could not stand it. I don't care what was said, what was done, what was in Kevin's room, or any of that BS. Like, it was utterly pointless, stupid to the storyline, stupid for her story, and for the entire, it's like they ran out of ideas already with every episode that they had. It did not coexist other than the Hulk King. That was the only thing that was tying them together.
Yeah.
It was just chaos, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What a terrible way. Terrible. I would say that's probably one of the worst shows that has ever been done in the MCU TV series.
Yeah, that
Hands down.
That
Hands down.
was the worst episode. I don't think it was the worst show, but I think it was
Episode.
the worst.
Did I say show or
You did.
episode?
I think it was the worst
show.
episode of any
Episode.
MCU TV series. I do want to say when she was walking through let me just give you a build up. If you haven't watched it yet, spoiler warning. We probably should have said that at the beginning. I'll add that in later in post. Um,
Yeah, good.
um, when she kicks through the Disney Plus menu,
Oh my
I was
god, I was
like,
pissed.
I'm done. I don't even
I
want to
was
watch
done.
it anymore.
I was, and and you know, it just goes to, and I don't know. She gets to rewrite, just to write her own story because she's the Hulk. Because
Well,
she.
they're
I
trying to
don't
make it
get.
comic. They're trying to make it comic book accurate. That's the thing. That's what she did in the comics. She would tear into the pages and talk to you. That was her
I
thing.
don't. Who cares? Is she then? I'm assuming she's. How is this going to work from here on out if she is not? If she's in a movie, how is
Yeah,
that going to
exactly.
work?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think Kevin's saying we'll see you on the big screen. She goes, really? And he goes, no.
No,
Maybe they aren't. Maybe they
there's no
aren't.
way. I don't know. I don't know how you're going to bring her into it and still have her be who she is with that fourth
Mhm.
wall shenanigan crap. And I, it ruined the series for me.
It did.
That episode ruined the series for me because I was thinking, okay, there's at least going to be some closure and there's going to be some conflict resolution where she
I
is going
wanted
to
a
have to.
I wanted a big fight scene is what I wanted. That's literally what I wanted. Look
Yep.
at
Yep.
Moon Knight. Moon Knight had a great ending fight scene. That's all I wanted to see.
But they all. I mean, they even talk. She even talks about it in. Like when she's talking to Kevin about how all the same stuff is the same stuff over and
Yeah.
over, then why don't we just, why don't we just get the fairy tale ending? Like it's gonna be a fairy tale ending, so let's just make it a fairy tale ending because
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be. And it just pissed me off. I could not stand it, and I'm so mad that they went with that direction because it killed it. The series sucked. I mean, I don't want to say that the series sucked, but it's not good. It's not.
I can't wait to hear your rating on it because
It's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
we need to redo the shows because I'll be honest, I was thinking, this series, depending on how the finale goes, could be a top tier, a top half of the
yeah.
series. It could be. But you know what we got instead? You know what we got instead?
Garbage.
A steaming pile of turd is what we got.
I will say, the thing they did when she's walking through and she's like, I want to talk to Kevin. I want to talk to they're talking. You can't talk to Kevin. You can't talk to Kevin. And then she walks in and Kevin's a robot. I just wanted the Kevin Feige payoff. I wanted him to be in a seat and just do the spin, the turn around, and he's sitting there. And she could have had that conversation with him. I don't mind that they did the whole thing with. I didn't like the Disney Plus menu. That was
No.
dumb. That was stupid. I did not like that at all. But I did like that they sent her to a place where she could talk to the people that read in the comics because that is what she did as a comic book character. But yeah, I don't think it paid off well. I don't think that entire last episode helped this series at all. I think it made it worse. It's like they just threw up they vomited it up. It was like they took every episode, every character that was in every episode said, we're going to plop you into this room. The villain being Todd, dumb, hated it. I mean, you knew it was coming, but the fact that he was the leader of the group and he had her vial of blood and just injected himself and turned into the Hulk, we already know that it's in the DNA of the Banners for some reason.
The Banners,
right? Yeah, that's
so to speak.
That's what that is. Maybe he was a distant relative. I don't know, but still, it's like they just tried to rush it. Every episode felt short. Every episode from 1 to 9 felt short. Felt like there wasn't a point.
There was no continuity to any episode
No.
other than the Hulk King at the end of each little tidbit of the episode, but it seemed like Jen frantically swimming above water and then Hulk King. Jen frantically swimming above water, Hulk King.
Yeah.
It's like it went nowhere. And I think that's the thing. I think that's the part that frustrated me the most is that I was I was okay with where it was going until that last episode just confirmed, like, it literally was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. I can't stand that she doesn't struggle with anything. I mean, did she learn anything from her little meltdown?
No.
No.
Well, let me
No repercussion, no nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I want to hit on
And
too is they
I
put that
don't.
inhibitor chip on her leg, right? So she
Yeah.
can't turn into She-Hulk.
Correct.
And then she is like, "Oh, let me just break this thing up." Like, you're a
What's that mean?
lawyer. You're a lawyer that wants to fight for people's rights and justice, and you agree to put an inhibitor chip on. This whole series, you've been talking about how it's important to do what you're told. She even goes to Emil and makes him like take
she goes back. Yeah, she's with Kevin, and she tells him, "Well, Emil, you're gonna take responsibility for your actions."
Exactly.
Where the pot meat kettle,
Yeah,
pot meat kettle.
exactly. It's like hypocritical to the point where it's like, so she's rewriting her own story and then making it to where she pretty much didn't do anything that was harmful to anybody. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. You once again, you hit the nail on the head. This last episode made the series at the bottom of the list.
Oh yeah, it sucks.
I don't,
And that's a shame, because I had, with the way I watched it, I had really, really high hopes for it, and then that crap they just spewed out there at the end.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're trying to make fun of stuff outside of how she was in the comics, but it is terrible, absolutely terrible,
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. Another side note, other elephant in the room, the very end with
Mhm.
Bruce coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that about?
So I mean, I've done a little bit more research on it than you probably have. Even before that all happened, I was reading up something, and somebody had talked about Bruce's son Scar, and I was like, "Well, what's that all about?" Well, on Sakaar, or when he's off on Sakaar, even in the comic books, he has a son, and and to me, in this universe, he's forgot about that son, right? Because when he turned back into Bruce Banner, he didn't know where he was. He didn't know he was on Sakaar. So the Hulk part of his brain was making all those memories. So I don't know if maybe when they fused them together, or maybe when that ship visited him, he realized that he had a son on Sakaar, or maybe he's already made trips back to Sakaar for his son when he fused with the Hulk and Bruce together. Um, I don't know why it's been on my mind so much, trying to figure out why they were talking about that. And then the last scene of the movie, here comes Bruce to dinner, and speaking of that dinner, I love the fact that Matt Murdock was there.
So I love that her brother sister was like hitting on Matt, and he comes over after he's grilled. He's like, "Why don't you come over here and sit by me?"
Yeah.
And he's giving Matt the evil stares, and I just lost it. That was funny.
That might have been the best scene of the whole last episode, to be honest. That dinner scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that dinner scene for sure.
Yeah, and then here comes Bruce and his son Scar just at the end. He's like, "Hey, everybody, this is my son." So I don't know if they're doing a Planet Hulk or just another Hulk, World War Hulk, or whatever they're gonna do. I think he's gonna play a big important role. Plus, you add another young Avenger to the Young Avengers with a Scar. So
yeah, it definitely adds up to another Young Avengers nod eventually.
Yeah.
Now my issue here is, do you remember Age of Ultron?
Yes.
Okay, Age of Ultron. Where did they go? Who went to the hideout? Who went to Clint's hideout? AKA Clint's house.
Who all went?
Who all went?
Oh man, it was Cap, Tony,
Correct.
Nat,
Yep.
um, Thor.
Yep.
Bruce did not go. No, Bruce did go. Bruce did go. He showered. I remember that scene. He walked out and Nat
showered.
was there. Yeah.
He showered. Okay, so I'm glad you brought up that scene. Okay. What was one of the main talking points of that scene? Do you remember?
Was that he couldn't have kids or didn't want to have kids? One of
Couldn't
the
have
two.
kids.
Yeah.
He couldn't have a family
Yeah.
with Nat, which is what he thought Nat wanted.
Well, and part of that was Nat's fault. I mean, Nat's problem too. It wasn't just him.
Yeah. But Bruce doesn't know that at this point in time
Yeah.
until Nat says it. But he's saying like, I can't give you the family that you want. And then that's when Nat, pops in with her fun little story.
Yeah.
And so this whole time I'm thinking, well, he can't have kids. Evidently, he figured it out.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't think that he couldn't have kids, but I'm assuming the gamma in his system somehow would be transferred. I mean, I don't know how that would work, but
I can't wait to be told
how
by
it happened.
somebody at the thecallguyspodcast at gmail.com how big of an idiot I am.
Yeah.
But because I was under the impression that he could not reproduce. Evidently, he's got an offspring.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like an adopted son or it's a real
No,
son.
it definitely wasn't an adopted son. He was green and looked like a Hulk.
I know.
I mean, there had to have been somebody on Sakaar that he was in a relationship with. And, that's the other thing too, is you think about that ship that flew in at the beginning, right? Where they're talking in the car, and just that ship flying in scares Jen enough to swerve and try to miss it and go off the road. Now, I wonder if that was just a messenger coming to say, hey, your kid's in trouble. We need you to come see him. And then he's getting stuff later on.
Like, I feel like that is if they are making a quote unquote Hulk movie or series.
Yeah.
That is definitely what that is going to be about.
He did not say Siri.
Yeah. Thanks. But yeah, I think that could be interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I definitely think that is what it's going to be about. But I mean, all in all, I don't know if you got the TV list pulled up or close by, but I
don't think I have it updated at this point.
Okay.
Let me just see. It's been a while since we've had this thing pulled up. I don't even know if I have it.
Well,
on
I
here
know.
still,
I know it has been.
Oh, there it is.
I mean, it probably didn't have. Oh gosh.
Oh, I'm missing. What am I missing? I got WandaVision, Falcon, Loki, Hawkeye, Moon Knight,
Miss Marvel.
Ms. Marvel. Yeah. Yep. That's right.
And She-Hulk.
So those are the only two new ones.
I think so.
I'm going to add them so they're in here.
Okay. We'll have to update those sometime.
Yeah, well, we got movies to add in here too. We're going to have more movies to add in here soon. So,
yeah, we do.
I would say, I don't know if you want to end this conversation now. I do have some things I would like to say about what I wanted more of. The fourth wall breaks. I think they did really well with them. I wish we would have had a little bit more in those middle episodes. And then I loved it until the last episode. Like we said, it just killed it. I was done. I was like, yep, okay, I don't want to see this anymore. I wanted more references to the MCU. I really liked how when she walked into Kevin's room, there were literally like
those comic books.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. I like that. Yeah.
And then the opener to that episode, the cold open, where they kind of mimicked that 1970s.
Oh my gosh,
Hulk.
that TV show.
That was cool.
I laughed hysterically through that whole thing. I was like, that's awesome. Like,
that was awesome.
I'm so glad they did that. That was really cool. I mean, that's another cool thing that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I am not bashing this show at all, but The only thing that kills this show is the last, like, literally the last 15, 20 minutes of the show ruined the entire series.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that. I can't believe that they did it. Like, that's the thing that kind of blows my mind, is that they made the choice to go ahead and say, yep, that's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we need. Don't make any changes. Go with that.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? There's nobody, Kevin, that said, yeah, let's make this more of an actual, like, whole story that gets finished, and
I wanted more of
to
the
something else.
I wanted more of the legal stuff. I love the courtroom stuff, man. I just love that banter and the.
I loved her and Matt's introduction.
Oh yeah,
and how she breaks the fourth wall. Like, who the heck is this guy? Like,
yeah,
I thought that would have been. I agree. If there would have been some better. I mean, when she's talking about how she's getting the naming rights to She-Hulk, how she's quote unquote claimed them and they can't be copyrighted because it's a name.
yeah.
And I was like, oh man, okay, like those scenes, those weren't bad. I enjoyed those episodes.
Yeah. I will say that the Daredevil episode was my favorite episode by
Same.
far. By far. It
Same.
was just so good. The back and forth, you got that Daredevil feel, but you got the She-Hulk feel along with it. They were so good. Their actual, like, what's the word? The way they acted together was just,
They've got really good chemistry.
Yeah. Together. It was so good to watch them, like, go back and forth. I love that, like, at the end of the last episode at dinner, their parents are grilling him on his law practice and like, do you make any money?
You make any money? So no, I like to work for the people, who don't have a lot.
So you don't make
a
any
lot of money.
I thought that was great. I do. I think that was the hallway fight scene that he was in, where she busted into that was awesome.
I was just like, the whole time I was like, yes, hallway fight scene, hallway fight scene,
Yeah,
hallway fight
yeah.
scene, and then she busts through, and I was like, no.
Ruined it. No, I think that was really cool. It was nice after the whole banter they had up on the roof about what a goon compared to a what was it? A goon and a
I thought it was like a henchman and
a henchman and a goon.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, the difference between those, and then he's like counting them with his senses, and then he's like, you stay here because you've never done this before. And she's
Yeah.
like, well, what does it take to beat up a couple of guys? And so that was fun. I thought it was just a super fun episode. And
Yeah, like I said, that I can't believe it took literally that short amount of time to ruin the series.
yeah,
And I felt like it all could have been avoided. And it's a
I agree.
shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm currently getting my phone blown up by a buddy of mine who I've been discussing this series with, and he is just as flabbergasted as we are with what we just witnessed. And it's, man.
Well, like you said, so your reaction was, what did I just watch? Like that moment where she like kicks through the screen on Disney Plus, and like the title screen, Sarah goes, "What the hell are we watching?" I was like,
Great question.
I don't even want to say anything at this point. I'm just like, I'm just watching She-Hulk.
I'm just watching She-Hulk.
Yeah, which she did stop. She did sit down and watch it with me, and I think she was just as disappointed. And I think that when Banner's son comes in, she goes, "Well, what does that mean?" You're right. What does that mean? No, I mean, we don't know. That's the problem. But
there's so many things we don't know because they didn't tie anything off. She
Yep.
was just able to go in and change everything she wanted to, fit her needs.
Yep, exactly.
I just didn't like it.
Well, I will say, to be honest, I thought the show was funny. For one, like you've said, the show was funny. Had some good moments, but it also had some bad moments. I wanted the more legal. I wanted more funny. I think funny was the thing that was keeping going. And I wanted more fight scenes. I think that more fighting would have been great. For the last episode, bringing back the characters was cool, but I also felt like they just kind of vomited them up, and it was like here they all are at once, and I think that kind of ruined it. I think it would have been cool if they would have brought them back little by little, every cameo that was in the show, but I don't know. Um, I really was hoping it was going to be a great episode, and then it just kind of went flat on us. And I'm kind of excited to see what they do with her in the future, to see if she's going to be in shows. I'm sure she's going to be in Daredevil Born Again. I don't think she'll be in Echo, but if there's a Hulk show, I'm sure she'll be in that. So I enjoyed the character. I enjoyed a couple of the episodes, but I'm going to go. I'm struggling because I don't want to give it like a 5.5. I feel like that's like so middle ground. So I'm gonna say like a 6.
I mean, if I'm going to.
I mean, I just gave it a D. I didn't quite give it an F.
I mean, I was thinking before the last episode, I was thinking this is like C+, B- area.
Mhm.
Somewhere around there. That good. And now I don't even want to think about this show ever again. And I say this a lot. I talk a lot of sports with people. If my football teams just wouldn't give up a single rush for 84 yards and they only gave up 100 yards rushing for the entire game, they take away that one play. They did really good defensively. Okay? They did really good. But you got to take everything in account for it all the time. So with that, I'm going to go 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I can't give it anything better than that because of how it ended.
And everybody out there in podcast land, for Colton, that is a 4.5 stars out of 5. Just kidding. He just gave it a 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out of 5. You're killing me. No. I mean, I think that's the shame because I was every bit ready to give it like 7.5. Like.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was too. To be honest with you, that Daredevil episode, and then when he came back, I mean, he was in it quite a bit, and when he first showed up, great episode. I love the costume designer thing. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was cool.
So okay, nitpick again real quick. Okay, so since you passed the bar, does that mean you can practice law in every state? Or is that only in the state where you have passed the bar in?
That's a very good question.
Because the thing that I'm not understanding is why would a lawyer from New York be asked to represent somebody from LA?
He's doing him a favor.
Well, I understand he's doing him a favor and he's really there to get a suit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I was just curious, anybody out there who knows anything about the lawyer life, hit us up at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
I would love to understand because that's the one thing I don't get. Like, is that like a legit thing you can do, or is that just like movie magic?
I feel like when you pass a bar, it might be for like regions. I don't know if it'd be for all the way across the United States. But
I have no idea. I mean, because the only thing that makes sense to me in my small peanut mind is that then why, if you have a warrant in, let's say, Ohio, and you get arrested here in Indiana, and you get extradited, you probably are going to get charged with everything you did in Ohio first.
Yeah.
Because that was first. So you have to answer to Ohio law, and then when you're done serving that, then you'll have to come back and serve the Indiana sentence or what like that. I don't know much about the legal process or anything like that. I've never really been in trouble, but if anybody who either has or knows anything about it, I'd love to know. Hit us up at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. You heard it. Any lawyers out there to listen to the podcast, let us know.
I know there's a couple. There's got to be at least 6 or 7.
I'm sure.
Maybe
I'm
20.
Sure. I'm
We'll
sure
find out.
at least one or two out
But
there.
I was thinking, man, is that just another thing of example of lazy writing, or is that like a legit thing that could happen?
And I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know
All
either,
I,
brother.
all I'm saying is Marvel. If you're out there, if you're listening, if anybody out there that somehow comes across Call Guys podcast, we need a blockbuster. I'm hoping Black Panther does it, but at this point, I'm going to get tattooed on my body the words "low expectations," just so I remember every day to go into everything that you've released in the last
2 years, year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half to have low expectations.
It's been terrible. I don't know if it's because of the COVID or what the reasoning is, but there's an obvious reason, and I don't think it's the actors and actresses.
No,
it's you need to get your ship tidy, your house tight and clean, and you need to figure it out, because I mean, I think you're in danger of losing a majority of the fan base just based off terrible writing. And we're not even going to talk about the CGI. Did we talk about the CGI?
No, because I didn't catch as much as, and it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
And they came back and they redid it. They redid
I know they did
some of it, and I just like. There's times I'm watching, I'm like, holy crap! I mean,
now let me say, She-Hulk as a whole didn't look bad. It was the facial expressions, the mouth movements, which they have said are the hardest things to do in CGI. It's so hard to match.
The MCU.
Yeah, I know. The money you have to do it, you just put a normal face on somebody, painted green.
They've ruined every, almost, it feels like they've just ruined every CGI artist that has come through the MCU. And I did not find it tasteful that they threw a CGI joke there at the end with Kevin.
Yeah.
And her. I thought that was very distasteful. I thought that was low. That was cheap, and they're trying to make light of a real situation that they have.
Yeah.
And find it funny, don't care. I mean, you keep producing crap, Marvel, I'll be done. I mean, and I know just because I stop watching them isn't gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Isn't gonna do anything. But I mean, I can't be the only one who sees that the material you're making is crap. I can't be the only one. So
Marvel, you're gonna turn Colton into a DC lover at this point.
Oh my gosh, I will flip the ship, and we will skip hands with Black Adam and Shazam all the live long day.
Yeah.
Which I am excited for Black Adam. I think that's going to be really good.
I did hear that Henry Cavill might be in it.
Oh gosh, just lay down and die, Henry.
And Colton, anything else you want to add on She-Hulk before we close this out?
The disappointment I had as I was walking downstairs to the basement to record this, that I was actually probably going to be giving it a positive review, and saying that my new method of watching these shows that
it worked.
It worked. And honestly, and I think for the most part it did.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad I didn't go and sit through. I mean, we didn't even talk about Wong and everything that happened to him, and how I'm pretty sure that the devil, or what's his Mephisto, I'm pretty sure, I mean, they set him up, ball on the tee, like knock it out, this one out the park, like you can't miss who that is.
Yep.
Like, is he going to be in this? I don't know. Nobody knows anything. Why? Because nothing got solved or figured out.
I did like the tie-in to Shang-Chi. I thought that was great with Wong.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Emil being in the fight club thing that was going on, the underground fighting. I thought that was really cool. I was glad for that payoff. I'm glad that paid off from Shang-Chi.
Correct. Me too. And I paused and I say, hey, do you know what that scene's from? You know what that scene's from? And my wife's like, I don't know. It's like Shang-Chi. And she's like, oh yeah. And so I thought that you're right. I thought that was a great payoff.
It was. It's
just, I mean, I was so excited to to do that. And as I'm walking down my stairs, I was like, I can't believe they somehow found a way. They somehow find a way to screw this up.
Well, Marvel, I hope your ears are ringing tonight and you're hearing this, because there's a light turned on at Colton's house tonight at 1:00 in the morning. He's gonna flip his lamp on. And he's gonna be like, I can't believe it. Marvel, why are you keeping me up at night?
I don't think I'll ever understand it. I just don't get it. Of all the times you decide to stay true to the comic book character, why are you choosing now?
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job with sprinkling it, because I don't want him to be like the comic book character. I want them to be like a movie / TV character.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, take some parts, but don't take the whole damn character. And it's just frustrating as a long time Marvel fan that, you know, they still can't seem to figure out this phase.
Yeah.
And they have no reason for it to be failing, I feel like, the way that they are failing. So I don't know. We didn't find out about Thanos until end of Avengers.
Yeah.
So there's hope. There's hope.
There's hope.
That's all we can hope for.
That's all that matters. There's always hope.
So that's all I got to say, brother. I know that was a lot of mumbling and jumbling, but
Hey,
I'm just so frustrated because I was so excited about this show.
well, I'm glad we were able to have some good conversation about it. I know we kind of both had the same ideas, even when we've talked about it over the weeks. You know, these last 9 weeks that this show's been going on. I mean, we've talked pretty much once a week, had a little snippet of conversation about it. I think we had a good conversation. I don't know that it was a great show. It wasn't. It was subpar to the. It's so hard to say that because there were so many good moments, and it's like you just ruined it.
Yeah, but you got to take the whole thing as one. That's the problem.
Exactly.
And it's like I don't want to say it's like they almost don't want you to forget, but they're like, hey, let's forget about this. But
apparently they need to go reprogram Kevin because it's not working out.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with the quote unquote
actors and actresses.
It's not their fault. It's not their fault. They have got to get their ship clean.
Yeah.
Tighten it up. And if they don't, they're just gonna make subpar crap, and you know what? People will go to it. That'll be the problem. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, that's any problem when you deal with sports teams or movie theaters. I mean, the best way to tell them that they've done a terrible job, don't go see it. Don't go spend money on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, as long as they're getting money, they're still going to keep producing the crap. They don't care.
And as always, these are all our opinions. And if you are a huge Marvel fan, I always recommend to go watch anything new Marvel if you listen to this before you've watched She-Hulk, still go give it a try and let us know what you think. Send us an email to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you've thought of the show as a whole. If you've already watched the whole thing and you're listening to this episode, let us know. We're always here to listen and hear your critiques about what we've talked about here tonight. Hopefully a lot of you have the same thoughts that we have.
If you don't, if you could explain that last episode to me, please email us at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Because I would love to get you on here and have you explain that entire series of what I just saw.
Yeah. 100%. Colton, anything else you want to add?
Glad you're moved in, brother.
We're getting there. I will have a new desk. I actually am off to Kansas City. I will be on my way home when this airs. So I'm going to go watch the Chiefs Bills with my dad, who has had the world's longest week. And I feel so bad for him. So I am driving out to Kansas City on Saturday. and then
Look at
driving
you, the
home
goody
on
two
Monday.
shoes, son.
I feel bad. The guys put almost 3,000 miles on this week,
Jeez.
so you know
That's a lot.
Yeah, from home to Kansas City, Kansas City to Kentucky, Kentucky to home. He's been busy, and then he's going back to Kansas City with me. So, as you listen to this on Monday, be thinking about us on our drive home.
Will do, brother.
Everybody, be sure to check us out on YouTube. We post every Monday when the podcast goes up on Spotify. So if you want to see our ugly mugs and our cool backgrounds, go check us out. Just search for the Call Guys Podcast on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, click the bell. That way you get those notifications when we do post our videos on Mondays. You can also get us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podbean, and more. All of the sites that you get your podcasts, we are probably on them. You can also find us on all your favorite social media accounts, whether that be Facebook at facebook.com/thecallguyspod, Instagram at The Call Guys, and TikTok at The Call Guys Podcast. Please, we mentioned the email so many times throughout every episode. If you have any recommendations for the question of the pod, future episode, anything like that, you can send those recommendations to the callguyspodcast@gmail.com. I just saw Colton's eyes do this thing where he was like thinking, no, we did not do a question of the pod this episode.
No,
I completely forgot about it. But I do want to tell you something about the question of the pod, Colton. I'm working on something for you in the question of the pod.
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm working on
my.
something. I might have emailed one of your favorite businesses to see if they would sponsor the question of the pod. So we'll see what happens.
Oh my.
That would
That's
be
hysterical.
that would be something else, wouldn't it? So yeah, send any emails to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. You can also check out our merch store. That is thecallguyspodcaststore.com. Go check it out. If you like anything on there, please get it, wear it, send us a picture of you wearing your Call Guys shirt, hat, whatever it is that you get off of there. And while you are listening to the Call Guys, or after you finish listening to the Call Guys and you want to listen to something else, the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts has plenty of other podcasts for you to go listen to, whether that be the Golden Image Podcast. You can check them out at facebook.com/Golden Image Podcast, the Murdnerds at facebook.com/Murdnerds, Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast, which I am supporting the poster on the wall here, facebook.com/IN Chiefs Fans Pod, and the United States of Paranormal Podcast at facebook.com/United States of Paranormal. You can find all of those podcasts wherever you get your podcasts.
Nice.
Wingstop, I would love for you to sponsor the question of the podcast.
Oh my gosh. I would love, man, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. I would be tickled. I don't know.
I would totally make like this cool like intro to the question of the pod.
I
It is
would-
time for the Wingstop question of the pod.
I would eat their hottest wing every single time.
That
for the
would be
question of the
hilarious.
pod.
That would be hilarious. You have to answer the question of the pod while eating their
Oh my
hottest wing.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I would die.
That
I
be
would
so
die
good.
though. I would die a happy man.
Just became hot ones. We just became hot ones. Everybody out there in podcast land, I want to thank you for listening to the Call Guys podcast. Thank you for being here for 31 episodes. Thank you for sitting through a 3-hour-long beer 30. Thank you for coming out every Monday and listening. And whether you listen on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm just happy you're here listening. And I want to thank you. And we will see you next time.
Later.
Oh, man.
Man, you're telling me